All right, so again, very limited. It's such a neat night. I told you it was going to be a good night tonight to watch. Very limited on both those options.
Yep.
In fact, less than 100 now in the Mid-State 66. So just a little heads up there. Okay, now this is neat because this is called the Secret Silver Kennedy's 13-coin half-dollar roll. Why is it a secret silver coin?
Well, most people don't realize that they made Kennedy half dollars in solid silver all through the 1960s. As a matter of fact, everybody thinks that they stopped making silver coins in 1964, and they did for everything but the Kennedy half dollar. Yeah. So the Kennedy half dollar.
So this is solid silver.
Silver, yeah. Well, 4005.
Right.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
It feels great. It feels so different than modern currency.
Yeah, well, it sounds different. That's why I always do that. See? So here's what the deal is. So I have all these coins. As you can see, they're brilliant uncirculated. I make sure that every single coin is brilliant uncirculated. And people say, so why'd you do 13? Because I determined the price point first at $99.95 and figured out how many silver Kennedy half dollars can I cram in at $99. And I figured 12 a dozen makes a lot of sense, but I could really get one more coin into there. So at 13 coins, you're looking at about $7.50 a coin, okay? $7.50 a coin. Now here's the amazing part. I'm gonna go to my nationally advertised catalog. That's kind of, I'm selling these at the silver part of this. Now, if these were just regular circulated coins, that would make sense. But these are brilliant uncirculated coins, so they have a numismatic component, a relatively significant numismatic component. And if you go into this, these coins range in price, these are all the 60s right here, right, from $19.50 at the low end to $31.50 at the top end.
For this exact?
For these exact coins in this exact condition.
No kidding.
So you are looking for 13 coins at a minimum, if purchased individually, of $254.
Ooh, it's an opportunity.
We're $99.95. Literally the silver price, you get the numismatic value in essence.
Right, as the bonus.
As the bonus, if you will. I hate to, you figure that out any way you want to do it.
Right,
but what I'm doing is I bought these and I was able to get these as silver. So the guy that had them didn't charge me for the brilliant uncirculated part.
Right.
So I'm not going to charge you for the brilliant uncirculated part. So if we look at that right there, absolutely, positively stunning, original, brilliant, uncirculated. Every single one of these, none of those telltale copper lines that you have. Because the Kennedy half dollars today, they have no silver in them. I mean, they're just manganese clad, they're manganese and copper and brass and all kinds of other stuff in them. This is the last of the silver coins. So these coins right here that you see that you're getting are the last silver coins ever made by the United States government intended for circulation. Now, these coins, however, were never circulated.
Right.
So while they were intended for circulation, they never went into circulation.
So does that mean somebody bought a whole bunch of them and then just put them away?
And put them away for 50 years.
Right.
So that's basically, these coins are a half-century old in essence. And like I said, I bought them in essence at silver. Now, even better than that, I bought these, anything that we have on the air, I probably bought 30 to 45 or 60 days ago. By the time we get it in, do quality assurance, put it all together. Well, silver's gone up, what do we got, 6, 7, 8% in the last 2 weeks. So I did not raise my price 6, 7, 8, 10%. I could have easily been $109.95. There was a day when silver was $50 an ounce. I had to charge like $299 for these same 13 coins.
That's incredible.
So what happens is silver is near some pretty substantial lows right now. Okay, some pretty substantial lows right now. So I'm able to incorporate that in there. So you're getting, not only you just paying the silver value, but you're getting it at a very low silver price. Right. That numismatic value, which ranges on these coins from $19.50 to $31.50. So at the very low end, these 13 coins are like $254 if you purchase them separately.
Right.
Okay.
And how do they come to us?
How they come to you?
Yeah,
they come to you. We have a little tube that they come in, just like
nice.
this, a nice little plastic tube.
And in this case, would you recommend buying multiples?
I would. I mean, you know, it's a good price. You know, silver's been creeping up. We're not charging you extra for the silver, so great opportunity. Like I said, you get the silver price. So you're basically what, $7.50 a coin? Is that right for 13 coins? That's 70. Yeah, we're right about $7.50 a coin.
Right.
With that, like I said, numismatic value, catalog value, if purchased separately, between $19.50 and $31.50. So like I said, we have a significant silver value that's in each and every one of these coins, but and that's in essence what we're charging you for, and that's what the price is in essence based on. It's that numismatic value that I in essence got gifted to me that I'm kind of gifting to you. In other words, by taking the nationally advertised catalog, instead of charging the $19.50 a coin or the $31.50 a coin that we have within that, then we're going to be significantly less. See, look at that, that's $19.50, $19.50, that's $19.50. I know there's some 65s in there. Those are $31.50. So we have those particular coins in. And at $13 a coin. So we've sold 125 of these.
Yes.
So when you look at that, that's like 2,000 coins.
True, that's
okay,
true, yeah.
So 2,000 coins, you understand, is 54 pounds of silver Kenny that we just sold in 5 minutes.
Right.
54 pounds of 50-year-old, 54 pounds of 50-year-old solid silver Kennedy half dollars. Isn't that spectacular?
That really is.
You're gonna do.
When you think about it.
When you think about it like that, and now we're 135 and there's 150 people waiting, and there are many people buying multiples.
And just so you know, we only have 2 more minutes, and we have 3 flex pays on this. I gotta point that out too, because of all the things you're thinking, gosh, I want to get multiples of this. Use our flex pay option. You'll use any major credit card. You actually pay it off in 3 months. But I think that makes it a little bit easier to get more sets of these than maybe just one. And then